Nobody enjoys being manipulated. It's that unsettling feeling, that knot in your stomach, when you realize someone is trying to control you, not for your benefit, but for their own selfish desires. Narcissists are masters at this, skillfully using manipulation and deception to maintain their fragile sense of superiority. Today, we're going to delve deep into how Stoic philosophy offers powerful tools for confronting and managing narcissistic behaviors. It's not just about understanding these toxic tactics, but about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your autonomy. The Stoics teach us how to rise above external chaos using wisdom and restraint. By adopting a Stoic mindset, you can transcend the manipulative tactics of narcissists and take control of your life. We're going to break down 6 crucial ways to turn the tables on these individuals, using Stoic principles to protect your mind and emotional well-being. The strategies we'll explore are not just theoretical, they are practical approaches you can begin applying today. Let's dive into how you can make a narcissist miserable, not by fighting them head-on, but by taking control over your reactions, actions, and choices. 1. Embrace indifference, the art of detachment. It's a paradox, isn't it? The more you ignore a narcissist, the more power you gain. Narcissists thrive on attention. Specifically, they feed on the emotional energy they can extract from others. Whether it's anger, frustration, admiration, or even disdain, these emotional responses serve to fuel their fragile egos. So, what happens when you stop providing that emotional fuel? In Stoicism, we learn the virtue of indifference. This doesn't mean being cold or disengaged. It means understanding what's in your control and what isn't. The narcissist's behavior is beyond your control, but your reaction to it is entirely within your power. By choosing not to give them the emotional reactions they crave, you strip them of their power over you. This is where the Stoic practice of detachment comes in. When you interact with a narcissist, do so with the understanding that their behavior is irrelevant to your peace of mind. Your focus should be on what is within your control, your actions, your responses, and where you direct your attention. By withholding the emotional reactions they seek, you force the narcissist to confront the emptiness of their own ego. Without the emotional fuel they need to sustain their sense of superiority. Think of it as practicing objectivity. You observe their actions without personal involvement, like a detached scientist observing an experiment. The result? Their attempts to manipulate or control you begin to lose their effectiveness, and they start to feel the void they've created in their own lives. 2. Use the reserve clause. Engage only when necessary. A fundamental principle of Stoicism is the reserve clause, the mental tool that teaches us to approach life with the understanding that every action we take is contingent on circumstances outside our control. This concept is invaluable when dealing with narcissists. The narcissist will often try to pull you into their world, demanding your attention, energy, and emotions. The key to resisting this is to engage only when absolutely necessary, and always with the awareness that you cannot change or control them. You can't force a narcissist to behave differently, and any attempt to do so will likely only escalate the situation. By adopting the reserve clause, you acknowledge that while you may interact with a narcissist, your goal is not to alter their behavior, but to maintain your own peace and integrity. The less personal investment you have in their actions or responses, the more grounded you remain. You focus on your own behavior, not theirs. This approach also means acknowledging that any conflict or manipulation they attempt is ultimately outside your control. Your peace comes from recognizing that your actions and responses are your responsibility, not the narcissist's. By applying the reserve clause, you free yourself from the need to fight or change them. You simply live in accordance with your values and principles, regardless of their behavior. 3. Focus on what you can control. your inner world. One of the most powerful teachings in Stoicism is the idea of focusing solely on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. In the world of narcissism, this is especially important. Narcissists will often try to draw you into their drama, provoking you, manipulating you, or attempting to shift the blame onto you. When you focus on what you can control, you free yourself from the chaos of external circumstances. This doesn't mean you ignore reality or become passive. Rather, it means that you choose how to respond. The narcissist may attempt to provoke you, but it is your choice whether you give them that power. Stoics teach us that external events are beyond our control. What matters is how we respond to those events. The narcissist's actions are beyond your control, but your emotional response is entirely within your grasp. By remaining calm, rational, and measured, you deprive them of the emotional reactions they so desperately seek. Think of it as maintaining your inner fortress. The narcissist can try to knock on your door, but if you remain steadfast in your focus on what you control, you keep your peace intact. You recognize that your inner world is yours to govern, no matter how the narcissist behaves. Recognize their vulnerability. They fear exposure. Narcissists may project an air of invulnerability, but underneath that facade lies a deep insecurity. They fear being exposed for who they truly are: frail, fragile, and dependent on external validation. In Stoic philosophy, we understand that external things like praise, admiration, or recognition are not the foundation of true happiness. Narcissists, on the other hand, derive their sense of worth from these fleeting, superficial validations. This fear of exposure can be a powerful tool in navigating interactions with them. When you stop giving them the attention and validation they crave, you highlight their vulnerability. By not indulging their need for constant admiration or praise, you show them that they are not the center of the universe. You are not their source of validation, and this is a direct blow to their ego. This recognition of their vulnerability, paired with Stoic detachment, creates a powerful dynamic in which their attempts to manipulate or control you lose their effectiveness. Understanding the narcissist's fragile self-esteem is key to protecting yourself. By refusing to feed into their delusions of grandeur, you force them to confront the reality of their own insecurity. Maintain your sense of identity. Do not let them define you. Narcissists thrive on controlling others, and one of their most effective tactics is to try to redefine your identity in their image. They want you to rely on them, to seek validation from them, and to believe that your worth is tied to their approval. But the Stoics teach us that our self-worth is not defined by others. We are the architects of our own identity. By maintaining a clear sense of who you are, you refuse to let the narcissist's manipulation infiltrate your sense of self. The Stoic practice of self-reflection allows you to stay grounded in your values, virtues, and goals, regardless of external influence. When you allow the narcissist to define you, you give away your power. But by holding firm to your own sense of identity, you reinforce the boundary between who you are and who they want you to be. This not only protects you from their manipulation, but also keeps you rooted in your own purpose. By practicing forgiveness, you free yourself from the burden of negative emotions. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior or allowing them to continue manipulating you. It means releasing the grip that resentment has on your mind and soul. By forgiving, you reclaim your energy and your peace, no longer giving the narcissist the power to control your emotional state. Conclusion: empower yourself through Stoic wisdom. In dealing with narcissists, the key is not to fight fire with fire, but to rise above their manipulative tactics using the wisdom of Stoicism. By practicing detachment, focusing on what you can control, and maintaining your inner peace, you take away the narcissist's power over you. Remember, their attempts to control, manipulate, or provoke you are ultimately outside your control. What matters is how you respond. By employing Stoic strategies like the reserve clause, recognizing their vulnerability, and staying grounded in your identity, you can navigate these interactions with strength and wisdom. Narcissists may be adept at pulling others into their world, but by arming yourself with Stoic principles, you can retain your autonomy and peace, making their tactics ineffective and ultimately